Hey, shout out to Vero, you know what I'm saying, as a growth operator. He's one of the best growth operators that I've personally worked for up to this date, and he took my offer from doing 4K USD a month to now $32,000, all organic, no ad spend or none of that. He just found a way to help me make more money with the current audience that I had, and he did that with multiple skills that he learned throughout mentorships and working with a lot of guys who taught him the correct things, and he opened my eyes and brought me to a lot of other things within this industry. And he has great communication skills. He's always working, you know what I mean, even in the daytime, the nighttime. This guy will put overtime for you, so shout out to him, and I recommend you guys work with him if you are trying to scale your brand or scale your personal brand.
Alright, so in this video, I'm going to go ahead and show you how I took this offer from doing $4,000 a month to all the way up to $32,000 completely organically with zero ad spend, and how you could do the same if you're a coach or a consultant. Now, as you can see, we did 42 appointments and 71.43 show up rate and 46.67 close rate. 67. But anyways, so let's get straight to the source. Now, the first thing I realized when I started to work with this client is that he was only selling a low ticket offer. Now, nothing against low ticket offers, but the problem with low ticket offers is that now you might be thinking, if I lower my price down to, let's say, $100, there's going to be a lot of people who can afford it, and as an example, you'll make a lot of money, which is not true. When you have low ticket clients, the problem with low ticket clients is that the demographics of a person who buy low ticket offers is completely different from a person who goes ahead and buy a high ticket offer. As an example, if he offers $100, there could be a lot of high school kids who bought your offer, and you're going to have a very hard time converting those people for your high ticket offer, because to purchase your high ticket offer, people actually have to have money. And another problem is that when you bring in low ticket clients, you're going to have to deal with a lot of disputes. There's going to be churn rates. There's going to be a lot of problems when it comes to managing these people. But with a high ticket offer, you make more cash up front, and it's much easier to manage your clients. Another example is, if you sell for 10 customers for $100, that's $1,000, and let's say your high ticket offer is $3,000. That's worth of 30 low ticket clients. So you are much better off selling high ticket offers. So that's the first thing we did. We transitioned his offer from low ticket offer to a high ticket offer. Now, once the offer was set up, the next thing we did was that we set up a 10-day launch sequence. Now, the reason you want to do a 10-day launch sequence or a 14-day launch sequence, people do this differently. Some people do 20-day launch sequences. But however, the reason you want to do a launch sequence is that you just do not want to just drop the offer for your audience, because that will hurt your conversion rates. Now, in this launch sequence, what we do is that we kind of tease them, we kind of whisper about the offer, and we kind of have this hype going on up until the launch day. And the whole goal of the launch sequence is to get your audience to join a wait list. Now, the reason we have a wait list is because it builds some sort of exclusivity for your audience, and you can always hype them up inside that waitlist to make sure these people actually go ahead and book a call with you. Now, once the 10-day launch sequence set up, you also want to make sure you have ManyChat automation set up as well. And you also want to retarget those people inside your Telegram groups or Discord groups if you have any. So once all is set up, you drive them into the waitlist. Now, inside this waitlist, you just do not let it be. Okay, you want to hype these people up. You want to send them testimonials inside there. You want to hype them up. You want to let them know, hey, this is what you can achieve. And you pretty much want to hype them up until the launch. Now, in the launch day, you give early access to the people in the waitlist. And once you give them access, you do a public launch on the stories and reels so people can go ahead and book a call with you. Once you publicly announce a launch, they'll go ahead and land on this VSL page. Now, in my client's case, this is the VSL page that I built for him. Now, also there's going to be people who would not just land on the VSL page first try. So you want to make sure you do 2 stories every other day to make sure majority of your audience land on your VSL. And you also want to have DM status ready to qualify those people in your DMs and to get them booked for a call. Now, once they land in this VSL, they'll go ahead and fill out a questionnaire form. Now, the reason we have this questionnaire form is to financially qualify these leads and to make sure you do not waste your time in the sales calls. Now, once they complete the form, there's going to be 3 outcomes. 1 is that they're going to complete the booking. 2 is that they're going to be a qualified lead, but they do not go ahead and complete the booking. And the third scenario is that they do not have the funds and they are going to be financially unqualified. Now, let's start from the financially unqualified leads. Now, once they're financially unqualified, they land on our downsell page instantly. Now this is the downsell page that I created for my client. Now once they land on the downsell page, our sellers will still call them within the first 5 to 10 minutes. On the second they land on the downsell page, our sellers get a message on Slack channel and they go ahead and phone these leads. Now the reason we still call them is because there's some people who lie on the forms. As an example, they might have $3,000, $4,000, but in the form they might just say, you know what, I don't have money and I'm not ready to invest. So you want to make sure their answers are truthful. So you want to make sure the sellers call them within the first 5 to 10 minutes. Now, once they call them, if they have money, they go ahead and book them for a call, and if not, they just pitch them the downsell. Now moving on to the people who are qualified but who did not go ahead and book a call with our team. Now our sellers get a notification when this happens and they go ahead and call them within the first 5 to 10 minutes and they make sure they get them booked with our team. Now once someone completes the booking who are also qualified, what happens is that they instantly land on this confirmation page. Now this is a thank you page that I built up for my client. Now in this thank you page, you want to make sure you give them all the required information when it comes to what they should do right after the call. As an example, you should let them know about the Zoom link. You should let them know about that they're going to get the emails about the links. You pretty much want to let them know all the information on what they have to do after, because if not, your show up rates will go down. Another thing you want to do is that you want to have breakout videos included here. Now what are breakout videos? Breakout videos are frequently asked questions answered in that thank you page. Now when you do this, it's going to be a much easier close for your closing team because most of their questions are answered before the call. So you want to make sure you add these breakout videos into your thank you page. Now the second they land on the thank you page, they also get added for a value dense email sequence. Now this value dense email sequence is sent up until the day of the call to make sure they show up, because they get so much value before the call, they know this is the real shit and the chances are they're going to show up for the call. The next thing that's going to happen is that within the first 5 to 10 minutes after they land on the thank you page, our sellers are going to get in contact with the lead because they want to go ahead and make sure they have the Zoom link, they're ready for the call, and if they need anything else that's required for them to show up for the call. Now, once the seller confirms the call, our closer gets a notification and our closer gets back to these leads immediately and he speaks with them, making sure if they need any client results, making sure if they need any trust assets, just giving them information that's required for them to show up for the call. As a result, your show up rates go much higher and they are more likely to show up for your call. And then in the call, our closers close these leads for paid clients. Now this is how this funnel took this offer from $4,000 a month to $32,000 and how you can do the same using your existing audience. Now as you can see in this funnel, there's absolutely no leaks. This is completely dialed in and this is a bulletproof funnel where you can apply this for your coaching and consulting business. Now if you do not want to go ahead and do this by yourself and you want someone to take over things so you can focus on delivering results for your clients and you need someone to take care of all of this, you can always contact me. I have all my contact details in the bio below and you can go ahead and contact me if you need any help when it comes to scaling your coaching offers.